the moment I'm actually very excited for. We get to meet the Arsenal fans of Ghana. We're here at the hotel, about to walk in, meet them, get their thoughts ahead of West Ham versus Arsenal on Sunday. I want to hear their score predictions, how they're feeling about Arsenal this season. And yeah, this is what it's all about. Can't wait for this bit. Let's go.
Okay, so we welcome all of you again to this gathering. As fans of Arsenal Ghana, today we have the opportunity to meet Robbie and his crew. We are very fortunate to meet him because since he came to Ghana, this is our first time of meeting him as a group. And so we would like to say a very big welcome to him and then a very big welcome to all of you. And so before we go on with any other thing, we'd like them to introduce themselves to us and then we can continue with whatever has to be said or has to be done.
My name is Eric, the CEO of Starbites and a big Gooner.
My name's Cecil G, AFTV presenter and lifelong Arsenal fan.
My name's Robbie Lyle, founder of AFTV. Sorry that it's taken us so long to get to see you guys. It has been really mad, hectic and busy since we've come here, but it's been wonderful since we've come to Ghana, all the things we've seen. So it's great to be here. Thank you.
My name is Eric. I'm popularly known as Zion, an executive member of Arsenal Ghana.
My name is Gloria, also known as Gigi, Arsenal Ghana Ladies Rep.
My name is Nana. I'm the secretary of Arsenal Ghana.
And I am Samuel. I'm also the executive member and then the rep for the Central Region Group. Now, since Robbie came, it has been his vision to meet us as a group. And so today he decided that after all his busy schedules, he'll make time to meet us, the fans, have an interaction with us, speak to us about the game against West Ham on Sunday. And then also we can ask him any other questions that we feel that we need to ask him and then his crew. So before we go on to the West Ham game, we'd like to ask questions about his AFT, how it came about, and any other thing that relates to it before we go on to the game itself. That one will give him the opportunity to talk to us about it. But before that, we have the opportunity to ask him and then his crew any question that you want to ask concerning AFTV. So the floor is open. If you have any question, let me know. I'll bring you the mic.
So my question is, what was the motivation behind AFTV?
Motivation behind AFTV was basically I wanted to create something where any Arsenal fan, no matter who you are, no matter what colour you are, no matter what religion you are, no matter how many times you've been to the Emirates, if you haven't been to the Emirates, as long as you're an Arsenal fan and you wanted to have your say about the club, I wanted to create a platform where this platform's for you. You can have your say, you can have your opinion, whether it's be speaking to us at a game or speaking to us, on video, or even just speaking to us in comments on the platform. You get, or even not speaking to us, but interacting with other fans. So that was the reason for creating it. So yeah, and way back in now, it doesn't seem that long, but it's 2012 now.
Yeah.
Was when it first started. That's when we did the first video. And yeah, it was just started off with two people. It used to be me and one camera guy, and we just go and after the game and we speak to fans and get their views. And it's just grown since that we're at places like here now, really cool. So, but that was the motivation.
I'm a dropping Guna. Please try and follow me on Twitter. People feel AFTV is so toxic. I don't know the reality behind it because ever since I followed you, I love your content, but I don't know why people feel you are so toxic.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you get haters. You get people that, unfortunately in life sometimes when something's growing and it's getting bigger and bigger, you can get negativity. And then there was the time when we had the period when Arsene Wenger was sort of coming towards the end of his reign at Arsenal. He was a loved manager by the fans, but he was starting to come towards the end and results were going really bad. And then you get a section of fans that, were quite vocal. They wanted Arsene Wenger to leave. Then you had some other fans that were like, no, this is a great man. Nobody should say anything bad about him. and then you had us in the middle, right? And I've always felt that with us, we've got a duty to let people have their opinion. So there'd be some people sometimes saying, well, you shouldn't let nobody talk negatively about the club, right? So I remember I used to, at that time in particular, I'd get some people saying, oh, you're making these fans talk too negatively about the club. Then I had another section that were coming up to me saying, oh, well, you're siding too much with Arsene Wenger, so you couldn't win, you know? So I think that's where it comes from, because we allow people to have their opinions, and it's not every opinion you agree with in football, you know? We can watch a game of football today, and I can go to everybody in this room afterwards, I can say, who's your man of the match? And I could get 20, well, not 20, because not 20 people playing, but I could get 11 different man of the match for that game. And nobody's wrong, it's your opinion. You think that, you know, Jorginho should have got man of the match. You know, Cecil thinks Declan Rice should have got it. You know, it's people's opinions. So I don't, you know, for some people it leads into negativity, and that for me, it should just be about respect someone else's opinion, as long as they're being respectful in the way they deliver it. And that's it, you know what I mean? And we move on to the next game. But I think football can be a bit like that, where you get some people that are a bit over, you know, but listen, the main point of it is that we're still here, we're still doing our content, and I just try to ignore that as much as possible and do what I think is, you know, good, which is giving fans an opinion.
Nice meeting you, Robbie.
Nice to meet you.
So my name is Caleb. They call me Ambassador. Caleb Toxler. Yeah, so...
Same name as my son's called Caleb as well. So.
Nice.
So you're blessed, a biblical name.
Great one. So I want to know, at what time did you quit the BBC? Did you quit after you started AFTV? Or because I got to know you used to be with BBC Reggae. You used to handle a reggae show on the BBC. So I want to know, was that during that period, and you were with Tao when you started the AFTV? He also had to quit his job. Was it due to the AFTV that made you quit? And how did your family take it when you were quitting? And also some of the fans that you interview, I don't know if do you intentionally handpick them? Because so far we've realized that there's Kelechi there who is Nigerian. Are there no Ghanaian AFTV fans?
Well, no. There is a Ghanaian fan. His name's called Belgium, right? So he's, But we don't handpick fans. That's first of all. Like, so every single fan that you've seen that comes on AFTV have just come on, right? And obviously some people come on and they're so popular that they become regulars of the show. But like Stricter. Yeah. Stricter's a funny guy, you know what I mean? But we don't handpick anyone. Everybody's just come and just decided to talk. So and we continue to do that. With quitting my job, I used to, back in the day, I worked as I used to be into reggae music. I used to make music.
Crucial Robbie.
I made a tune back in the early 90s in England. It actually went to #1 in the reggae charts in the UK, which was called Proud to Be Black. You know, so, and I can tell you, after going to Kumasi and after going to the coast, Cape Coast, that tune, I feel even more proud to be black after those things, you know, so it's been brilliant, yeah. And then when the music thing started to sort of fizzle out, I then went in and I trained as a surveyor, and I was working as a building surveyor. So when I first started doing AFTV, I was working as a building surveyor at the same time for about the first 4 years, and then it started to get to the stage where I'm like, I need to make a decision, right? Like I said to someone earlier today, it was an easy decision because I knew what I wanted to do. But you're thinking to yourself, what if I go and do this now and I end up broke, you know what I mean? I got no money, right? I've got a family to feed and that. So I did consult my family and everything, but I think they knew I really wanted to do this. And then, I just made the decision that I have to do this I have to be 100% in this. I have to be full on in this because it's growing. And also I wanted to make it as big as possible because I'm quite an ambitious person. So I'm like, I have to leave my job. So that's when I decided to leave my job. And you're right, Tao, who was the cameraman at the time, who started with me. He also left his job as well, you know what I mean? So we both left. and then we just started, when we first started doing AFTV, sometimes it was tough, financial wise, because we're doing every single game, and all the travel to pay for, and there used to be this myth. Some people used to come up sometimes and say, "Oh, the club give you tickets." I've never had a ticket off the club in my life. I buy my own tickets, right? So I used to, and sometimes you go to games in England, they're not cheap. Like, you once you buy a ticket, you got food, you got transport to go. Some of these grounds are far away. And so there'd be sometimes like, I'd even take sandwiches. I'd have sandwiches in my car because I'm like, I ain't really got much money left after paying for all these things to then on top of that go and buy food at a game. But it's not very cool to walk around with sandwiches at a game, so I'd hide them in the car. I had to eat them later on. But yeah, so it's come a long way. But I did consult with the family, and it was an easy decision in the end, and I'm glad I made it because that's what's that's why I'm here. So yeah.
My name is Bernard. I've been a loyal fan of Arsenal and AFTV for a while, and noticed that pre-COVID, post-COVID, AFTV has done a lot of changes in your podcast. Pre-COVID, there was a lot of negativity, like the lady said. People even believe that AFTV was instrumental in the exit of Arsene Wenger, and also some issues with other pundits like Gary and
Gary Neville.
Yeah, I remember you calling out one pompous dinosaur. I remember that interview. It was a bit heated in that period. It's not like that now. I want to know the relationship you have with the club and the other pundits, looking at those negativity at that time.
I guess, first of all, on the Arsene Wenger thing, like I said, listen, I'm not that powerful to get rid of a manager. As I said, it was just a circumstance at the time, really. We were going through a really tough time, and we had fans come on and sometimes be talking about Arsene Wenger, but I think fans were on every platform talking about this whole issue about should we change the manager and stuff like that. With regards to other pundits calling me out and stuff like that and calling out AFTV, we went through a period of that, like literally from the day it started, right? And I still get some of it now, but what's been quite fascinating for me over the years is to see the change, like you said, to see things that I was getting criticised for, platforms now copying. So, that's what makes it like, there'd be people who say, oh, these fan cams. You're just going up to fans and it's a lot of noise and stuff like that. And then I see Sky TV last week doing fan cams. I'm like, hold on. Didn't you guys used to have a go at us for doing that? And there's a lot of things we've done. Because remember, we were breaking barriers. We were disruptors in this industry. No one's ever seen anything like this before, where all of a sudden a fan, think about it like if you're a pundit, and you'll see why. I actually understood sometimes why some of them had were a bit annoyed about us, right? You think about it, you're a pundit, you think you've reached the pinnacle now and you're talking about football, and then, you've spoken something about a game and say 10,000 people have watched what you've had to say, but then I go and interview you and 100,000 people watch you. And they're thinking, how am I'm supposed to be the expert and only 10,000 people are watching me and 100,000 people is watching this guy. What gives him the right? And that sort of stuff was happening a lot. But I think over a period of time, they've started to accept that we're a big platform and we get a lot of people that come on and talk. And some of them now are starting to look on it and say, well, what can we actually learn from these guys now? Instead of, having that initial hate or having that initial thing where they're annoyed about, the success that we're having, they started to look on it and say, well, what are they doing that enables them to be so popular? What can we, and we're starting to see a lot of platforms really copy a lot of what we do or take some of the, you know,
the
elements of what we do.
And
yeah.
I want to jump in here as well and say that, you know, I've been part of that before COVID. I wasn't part of AFTV till after COVID, is when I joined actually during COVID. And like the Gary Nevilles, the Jamie Carragher's, it's funny because the Overlap, very popular show, they use fans now. They get the fan opinions on that. And they even had Robbie, when they weren't, when the main host wasn't available, host that. So that's a massive change from when they had their negative thoughts about it to now wanting to work with Robbie and allowing him to host shows like that and have fans on. And the relationship with the club as well, since I've been at AFTV, has been really good. We've had the people like, you speak about the Wenger, leaving period, but I interviewed Arsene Wenger on the channel and that's a big thing for AFTV. We've had David Dean on there. We've had many people that have worked within Arsenal, part of the channel. So it has changed, and there's a good relationship there, and that is part of it. I think Robbie came into this industry as a disruptor, and he shook a lot of people's feathers. He changed mainstream media as we see today, and there's always going to be a bit of hate towards that. But now, like you mentioned, you see, if you watch any piece of content on Sky, BT, I'm telling you, you'll see elements of what you're seeing on YouTube because they know this is the future, and I think that's how it should be.
Arsenal Fan TV, AFTV, was there a reason behind it? Because of the backlash then?
To change into...
Yes.
I just wanted to, you know what, it wasn't to do with the backlash, it was about trying to have our own identity, like the Arsenal in the Arsenal Fan TV sometimes led to a bit of a grey area, sometimes with sponsors, they're trying to almost latch on and say it's Arsenal, the official Arsenal, which we're not the official Arsenal, The official Arsenal Football Club is the official Arsenal Football Club that we love and respect. So we're not trying to, so that's by changing it to AFTV, that gave us our own identity. We could have our own logo, we could have our own branding, we could do our own things, and then there was no sort of little animosity between us and the club and no grey area. So that's why we did that. And yeah, it's been very good doing that.
Hello, my name is Octavio. Welcome, Robbie. Welcome, Cecil.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm a content creator myself.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, and I want to appreciate you, Robbie, and the team. I remember back in the day when we had to play the Thursday night Europa. And I just asked myself, how do you do it? Because there are times where you had very harsh weather conditions. You had to fly out to Hague and certain crazy teams just because. And there were times where we go there and we just got, beaten. And you come back and before you know it, you've uploaded. So I'm asking myself, how does he do it? How do you do it? Then, a moment ago.
Because you're crazy.
Very crazy. Then a moment ago, I hear from you, you're an ambitious person. And I appreciate that. I love you. I love what you've done with AFTV. And some of us, we fell in love with the club, but you have made us fall in love deeply more. And it's amazing to watch. But I just want to ask, has there been a day where it crossed your mind that, what, guys, wrap it up, let's call it a day. You're done.
That's a good question.
Because I know how it can get. You have, the people, he read my mind. Oh, and let me say this. It was beautiful what you did for Claude's family. Rest in peace, Claude. And then I realized that, what, you can take away the negativity, but this thing is a family. And I think that is what I worked with, even in my career, and it's beautiful to watch. So, big ups to you, Robbie.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Sorry, let's go back to the first thing you said before. If I ever thought of calling it a day, you said, sorry,
calling it a day.
No, before you said that, what did you say?
Which one?
He was ambitious. No, he said
your appreciation, your ambition.
Games. Yeah. So
listen. How do you upload your games? How do you do it?
Right at the start of it, I made a decision. But first, when I set up, I'm like, right, what we're going to do? I said to Tara, I said, what we're going to do? We're going to go to every home game, right? Because I can't afford to do all games, but we'll do every home game and we'll speak to fans there. We did the first game. I remember we beat Tottenham in the first game. I was like, yes, enjoyed this.
Normal.
Then I said to myself, go to the hotel. And every time I used to say that, he knows what's coming. It's something. I go, yo, we should do an away game, Wonder what an away game would be like, because, we've done the home.
What was his reaction when you did that?
He's like, yeah, we were going to get the money to do that. I said, don't worry about the money, man. We'll find it somewhere. Yeah. So let's do an away game. So the next week, I remember we did Aston Villa away, right? And that was brilliant as well. And so many fans in the comments were saying, oh, I didn't know what it was like at an away game. You're giving me an insight. And I said to him after that, guy, Tal, we have to do every game. Because how are we going to do it? You know, what about when we're working during the week and I said, yo, bro, we're going to have to do it.
Make it work, yeah.
Right? So that's when we started doing every game. Then I said to him, we've got to do all the European games. And like you said, some crazy places I've been to, man. Like, I remember we went to the Ukraine. And when, it was before the full-on war now that they've got with Russia, but at the time, and I was talking to Dr. Kenneth back the other day, I was like, at the time, there was still conflict going on in the country, in the eastern region. I remember Arsenal was playing some team, I can't remember their name, but it was over in those areas where there was some, you know, they said it was like under martial law. And I said to Targa, yeah, we still got to go. And he goes, are you mad? He goes, he goes, you know what I mean? He goes, black people in Ukraine. I don't know. He goes, it's under martial law. I said, bro, I go, if we're going to say we're doing all the games, we have to go. And lucky enough, they switched the game at the last minute. They moved it to Kiev, which is like the center. And we went and I remember it was like -20, freezing, ice everywhere, cold. And I remember thinking to myself, what was the point in doing this game? You know, because some of those games as well, you go and do them, you don't get huge views. It doesn't economically make sense to do some of those games. But for me, where it makes sense is that we should be, you know, if we're following Arsenal and they're playing in the Ukraine, we've got to be in the Ukraine. We've got to go there, we've got to tell, you know, so that you guys will be able to see what's happening out there. We'll be able to speak to fans out there. So I always kind of had that from then. So that's why you see us going sometimes to some mad locations.
I do want to chime in quickly on that as well. And what you see Robbie on the screen and all that. But I do want you to obviously have a thought as well to Tal, the camera people. You see Ryan here and Jason. What they have to, in those conditions as well. They've got we do the interviewing, but afterwards you don't see them on the side, laptops, and working away. And you said how quick you get back and you see the videos are up. That's down to their hard work as well. So I want to make sure you mention.
That's very true, because what we'll do there's many games you do in them, European games in particular, where you'll finish doing the videos, and then we want to get them up as quickly as possible. So we get them up on the spot there. We'll upload them and everything. We'll be out in the cold. Like even on a home game, when you see us at Arsenal on a match day, say the Liverpool game the other day.
Right.
When that game started at 4:30, finishes by about what, 8?
4:30. No, 4:30. Finished about 6:30.
Yeah, game finished about 6:30. We ain't getting home till, you know, sometimes we're not leaving the studio till like midnight. We're way after that game. Even just interviewing fans alone, we could be interviewing fans out there for another 2.5 hours after the game, easy.
That's why when you said you select fans, we have to make sure we speak to every fan there. So you'll see fan roundups, you'll see different faces there, because we're waiting till everyone has been spoken to. That's why. So like you said, when the final whistle goes, we start. That's when we start.
And at a home game, you know, you can come out of the ground
and there's
like say Liverpool game. And one of the things that I find really, you know, I have to sometimes just give thanks and say, you know, thank God, right? Because I remember when I first started doing AFTV, coming out of the ground, walking around trying to find people to speak. And Tao used to say, yo, you sure we're going to get people? I say, yo, there's 60,000 people here, man. We get at least 10. Right?
But that was a struggle, no? Because people want to be on camera first.
But now, if it's a home game, the Liverpool game, you probably had about 300 people waiting there to... Not all of them wanted to talk, but they want to watch. They want to soak it in. The people want to talk. So I look on that sometimes. I always just think back. 'Cause a lot of people won't even realise I'll be looking around and thinking, wow. Remember when I used to walk around and beg? Yo, bro, can you move, man, get away, we just lost. We just lost the game, man. Talk what? Get lost. right? And then now, I mean, so it's a blessing, man, you know. And as to your last question about if I ever thought of packing up, I haven't, never. No, you know, you get days when, you know, you get annoyed about things. But I've never felt, you know, I want to pack it up. I'll just be like thinking, what's next? What do we do next? What do we? This has sort of been born out of the sort of what do we do next thing. I'm like, it can't just be what we did 5 years ago. We've got to make progress. We've got to do other things. So I'm like, let's start coming to different places and watching games sometimes with the fans there who may not be able to get to the Emirates. And then one of the things as well, I remember before COVID, I was like, let's go to Africa. The Arsenal never goes to Africa, in my opinion. This is my opinion. One time I was over in America, and I asked somebody at Arsenal, I said, how comes you ain't been to Africa yet? I go, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa. I meet so many fans from them countries. Uganda. Why have you never been? And they was like, yeah, but the money's not the same. When we come to America, they pay big money for. And so I remember saying at that time, we're going to start going to Africa, right? We're going to start going to these places. Because I look at Arsenal, we've got Visit Rwanda on our shirt. Yeah. But we've never played a game in Rwanda. How? That don't seem right to me. I think we should, at the very least, if they're sponsoring, there must be a big sponsor if they've got on the side of the shirt. They're a major sponsor. Definitely. How have we not played a game in Rwanda? And it can't be just down to controversies and stuff like that, because then why would you have them as a sponsor? Right. So I said, well, you know what? I can't play no football, but what I can do is I can bring AFTV to these places. I can throw a big spotlight on the fans here. I can interact with them. I can show people back in the UK and around the world what you guys do, the support you have, the actual clubs, your supporters clubs. I can do that. And, I can just watch a game and have fun with you guys. Yeah. And that's why we started saying, right, we're going to start doing things like going to Africa. So we did Nigeria first. We've done this one here in Ghana. I met up, you see a gentleman there right at the end there, Joseph. I was over in Miami speaking at a conference, Socrates conference. I met him and he said, you got to come Ghana, man.
Well done.
Yeah. And he was, I was saying to him, yeah, and he was very persistent and very ambitious guy and that, and he introduced me to his team, and I said, yeah, I like this guy, man. You're a bit like me, you know what I mean? Determined, you know what I mean? So I said, ambition. Yeah, and that was in November, and we're here.
Nice. I want to say, lastly, I want to say thank you, because I feel like AFTV had to crawl for the others to fly. Like Expressions is trying to do too much, but you guys started it, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, he's a good.
Kelechi is able to make Cecil dance and bust moves, so we are grateful to that. So
no, thank you.
Respect, man.
My name is FM. That's my abbreviation. I like it for that way. I'm in a media space, and sometimes you go out, especially after a game, the club loses, and you want to have an interview. People just not push you away, but sometimes they physically attack you. In other instances, I've been to match centers where you will lose either a phone, you will lose your gadgets, and it is disheartening. And sometimes you wonder, like my local dialects would say, what did I go there to do? I mean, just to enjoy a game and get some interview. I just want to ask you, maybe your terrain is different from ours. Have you had that physical assault or a point where you've lost a gadget or you've had an injury to a member? I just want to know.
Not an injury to a member or anything like that, but I've had people come up to me, especially in the times that you described earlier. I had people come up to me, threaten me. I've had people come up to me saying, no interviews today. Right, no, I've had everything. I've had all. Trust me, like I've spoken at YouTube conferences where they've done a conference where they're talking about how to deal with hate and all them things, and I see people there coming on and crying and they said this in a comment, and I'm thinking, boy, that's not even half of what I've had.
Face-to-face conflict.
But you see, one thing about me, I say to people, there's one guy one day come and said, "Yo, you guys, if you keep filming," he goes, "then I'll come with people and stop you guys from filming." And I say, "Yo, bro, you can't bully me. I'll be here next week, the week after that, the week after that. You can't stop me from filming." And you come out of a game, and me and Cecil have it sometimes, and we've lost the game, and you're like, you yourself are angry.
Yeah.
When I come outside, when we played Fulham at Christmas, I wanted to kick down people myself. I was like, yo, I was going, what's that rubbish I just saw from Arsenal? You know what I mean? How? I said, after we West Ham, now we could win this title. What are we doing? I didn't even want to speak to no. I've had many games where I come out, I don't even want to, but you got to. I just sort of compose myself and say, nah, come on, we need to speak to people. And actually, I find it like sometimes when you're speaking to people, it kind of helps with how I feel, because I'm like, I kind of feel like how that guy feels, whatever, and I kind of get over it a bit quicker than I used to. But unfortunately, you are going to get, when it's football, it's such an emotive sport, it's such an emotional game, that you do get some of that. But what I say to you, don't let that put you off. And just take steps sometimes, maybe if like you come out of a game and, like people are really, really angry, maybe you need to just give it a little 5 minutes or so before you approach a couple of people and, and then ask their opinions. Just take a few little, but I've had it all, man.
Comes with it, let me tell you.
What you've had,
trust me.
What you've had, I can guarantee. I haven't had the physical assault. Oh, no, I have had a couple of people.
No, we have.
I've had a couple of people say, yo, right? Maybe I'm quite a big guy, so maybe I don't get that. But I've had threats. We've had people out trying to start chants at games against us. I've had all of it. I've had people say some things where I'm like, listen, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have took that. But I'm like, I've got a greater responsibility now. I've got people working for me. So don't let people ruin what you're trying to build, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it
can get like that.
It can, unfortunately, it can happen, but you just have to be a bit sensible. If you see somebody really angry, maybe let that person pass, or let them cool down a bit before, that's what I'd say to that. But don't let it stop you. 100% don't let it stop you.
So before we go on to the West Ham match, how we are going to build up to that game, I want to ask the last question concerning this AFT journey. So on this, your AFT journey, what has been your proudest moment or a day that you will never forget on this AFT journey up till now? Which day do you feel so much proud of yourself beginning this journey?
It's a big, don't look at me. He asked you.
There's so many, you know what, that's one of the good things about it. There's so many, I'm proud to be here right now. Anytime we do stuff around the world and you meet fans, you go around the country, even fans of other clubs are coming up to you. I get people coming up to me saying, I started doing my platform because of you. I've spoken at so many things that I just didn't expect that I'd be asked to do, you know what I mean? Like, even if it's like back in the UK, speaking at prestigious universities like Oxford, Cambridge, and or I don't know, TV documentary. There's been so many things that I've done through this. So I honestly can't pick one thing where I say that's been my proudest moment. There's just been so many. I'm just so grateful, you know what I mean? Because I'm not always shocked by some of the things I get asked to do, or it's incredible. So I honestly can't pick one. You got one?
Oh, why'd you push that? That was a you question. No, I just think it's a tough one. I think we've mentioned it, from before COVID to now. I think I've seen a change, in the channel, and my thing was I want to hear it from as many fans as possible when I joined AFTV. I think we've been achieving that. And then on top of that, I wanted to kind of bridge the gap between football hierarchy players with fans. That was always my goal when I was on AFTV, be able to just close the gap. And I feel like with the people we've had on the channel, the interviews you've conducted or I've done as well, I think we're doing that. I think it's proud being able to, be full-time working alongside Robbie on a YouTube channel. I think is a proud moment in itself. To create a business from that, he should be proud. I think quitting his job is a very proud moment. So now the impact you have, I've seen it. Coming into Ghana, I said to you when we got there, I couldn't believe that reception from So things like that.
You guys are responsible for that as well. Yeah, we were.
I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't,
honestly.
Yeah.
So things like that will stay with me for my life forever. And there's loads of proud moments. It is hard to pick one, and I haven't got the catalogue that Robbie has, so it's hard for me to pick one. So thank you for passing it on to me. But I'm proud to be here, man. But well done. Big up Rob, man, and big up everyone. That was a good question as well. Well done, man. Good question.
Okay, so we are going to go on to talk about the game against West Ham.
On the West Ham game, listen, it's a very, very important game for Arsenal. We had that great win last week against Liverpool. I think a lot of people didn't think we'd win that game. But with us guys in the studio, there was a lot of belief in us that we could win it because, we'd seen that we'd gone to Anfield, we played Liverpool there, it was a 1-1 draw. I think a lot of people forgot that, we didn't lose that game. We played Man City at home, we'd beaten them. We played Liverpool in the FA Cup, we should have won that game. We had so many chances that we missed. And we were all like, if we're brave, we can beat Liverpool. And we were brave and we played really, really well. And I think 3-1 flattered Liverpool. We could have beaten them by more. So that was a brilliant victory. However, we got to follow it up by keep winning. The way in which this Premier League is at the moment is that if you slip up, the win against Liverpool then all of a sudden doesn't really mean much. So this is a really important game for Arsenal this week. It sort of mirrors what happened last year. Mm-hmm. Last year we went away to Liverpool. We were 2-0 up. We were at the game. And then we threw away that lead. Then the following week now, me and him went to, we're at West Ham away. We're 2-0 up again. We threw away that one as well. And that's kind of where we threw away the league. Because we lost all momentum and things started to change for Arsenal after that. So this is the opportunity to put that right. We've beaten Liverpool. Momentum now is moving in the right direction. If we beat West Ham, again, the momentum's going to be really high and a lot of belief is going to come in at Arsenal. So it's an important game against a very difficult opponent. They've beaten us twice this season. Yep. They beat us in the League Cup. They beat us they beat us at the Emirates in the league. And last year they gave us a tough game. And now, every time we play West Ham now, they got this their fans are all still angry about Declan Rice. So all of a sudden it's become a very heated game as well because they give Declan Rice a lot of hassle, they're booing him, they're this, So it's a game where it's going to be hostile. It's not going to be your regular game. So, and then they've got some very good players, including from Ghana, Mr. Kudos will be there, who's a very good player. I was hoping Ghana could go to the finals. I was calculating. I said, Ghana go to the final. You might be able to play against Unfortunately, you guys got knocked out earlier. He's been back training, playing.
He's played,
so it's going to be. They've got some good players, West Ham. They've got some very good players. Jared Bowen.
I think he's out.
He's going
to be out.
Yeah. Well, Ward-Prowse. Danny Ings. They've got good players, man. They've got top players, and so this is not going to be an easy game. We know their tactics already. They don't attack you. They just sit back, West Ham under David Moyes, and they look to catch you on the counter-attack. So Arsenal will have a lot of the ball, but on the counter-attack, they're very good. Players like Kudos who can pick the ball up, drive with the ball from one half to another. If we don't defend properly, it's a game we can definitely lose. If we play well and take our chances, I'm confident that we'll win the game, but it's not going to be an easy game. I do feel if Arsenal win this game, we are starting to look like serious title contenders. We really are, because I see it last year. It's all about momentum and belief. And you start to look at it, even as a player, you're like, right, we came back, we had a tough time at Christmas, but We've had that little break. We've beaten Palace 5-0. We went away to a tricky place, Nottingham Forest, where we've lost the last 3 times we were there. We turned that around. We beat them. We've then beaten Liverpool. If we can go and beat West Ham, that's a hard run of games, negotiated brilliantly, and players start to believe that, It's a big game for Arsenal, massive. I'm glad that we're here to watch it with you guys.
It's going to be wicked.
But huge game. I'm going to be very nervous watching it because it's so important. To me, even a draw is not the end of the world, but it would be. But really, it'd be points dropped in. Yeah, we have to win that game.
Have to win.
Because you just
beating Liverpool, you can't then now go
and you got Man City there, and you got they got Haaland back, and they got De Bruyne back, and they're really now starting to char fire as well. So we've got to make sure that we win that game against West Ham. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I'm going to piggyback off the back of that and just say, it's a huge game. I think since Arsenal came back from Dubai, the warm weather training, you would have seen obviously the 5-0 win against Palace. We rocked them up. It was nice. Nottingham Forest away, listen, a tough place to go for Arsenal. So, but we actually, they didn't really cause us anything. I know a 1-0 score, but that was like, it was a one-off moment that they got. But we was very comfortable in that game, in my opinion. And then Liverpool, I've never seen Arsenal so confident. They had 1 shot on target. We scored all the goals. I said that in a lot of the media we did today. We scored all of them, including their goals. So let's make sure people remember that. I think people need to start taking Arsenal serious. I really do, especially if we beat West Ham. And I think the other fans are going to say it's only West Ham. But for us, we understand what they've beaten us already twice this season. It's a good, big push in the right direction. So it is a big game. Robbie's a bit more confident with his score prediction than I am, but I think Arsenal should have learned since they played them twice, how to beat this team. And Robbie's right about Declan Rice. I think it affects him a little bit, his own fans, or his old fans, booing him every time he touches the ball. But I think this Arsenal side should be mature enough and good enough to dispatch with West Ham and move forward.
I get the feeling Declan Rice is going to have a big game because if I'm being honest, the last 2 times we played West Ham, he's had a bad game. And it's been like the only poor games he's had in an Arsenal shirt. And I was like, is it affecting him? And I'm wondering if he sort of was like, I think especially in the first game, I think he was a bit shocked at how the fans
the reaction
treated him because he was a legend at that club.
Yeah.
And the way they
it was weird.
They went in hard on him.
Yeah, they did.
And when they come to the Emirates, they went in hard. But I think now, this time, he's going to go there with a different attitude. He's going to go there with, all right, you know what, I'm going to show you, look.
Yeah.
I think the other times he's sort of like, whoa, boy, what have I done? What have I done to you guys? I've won you guys a trophy. But I think this time when he's going back now, he might go, but I think he's going to go back with fire in his belly thinking, nah, you know what? I know I owe you guys nothing no more, and I'm going to show you guys what you're missing. So, huge game though, huge. I mean, I predicted 3-1 to Arsenal because I just feel that we will win the game. I think we're determined to win this game.
I said 2-1. Robbie says 3-1. I think 2-1. I think it'll be a tight game. I think 3-1 is. I think Arsenal they should know how to beat this West Ham side. So I'd love to see a 3-1.
Man United beat them 3-0.
Yeah, that's true.
I know that's at United, but Man United beat them 3-0. I think if Arsenal play like how they did against Liverpool, 3-1.
Go on. Do you have a question?
West Ham played an open game against United. They were trashed out. Now, they've played against us twice. They've played a low block. And you would understand that most of the times that teams play a low block against us now, we struggle because of the numerous passes we do pass. I don't want to analyze the passes, whether they are straightforward or sideways passes. And I feel like we need to set hold of Rice. In the last 2 games he's played against West Ham, he's played as a DM. In meaning you limit him. Now, I prefer we introduce Jorginho again and make him have the freedom. Now, with Jorginho, we got double pivots. Anytime our fullbacks attack, we've got 4 to defend. He's also a threat in the air, and I've seen in the last 2 games taking set pieces. So I believe that we need to set free of Rice for him to enjoy his game. I'm not so much comfortable with Rice's area ball. And West Ham are a team that have the height, they dwell on crosses a lot. And I feel that is something we need to take serious. Once we are able to sort that area threat out, then we are good to go. My score prediction is 2-0.
Okay. I think the only thing I'd say though is that if you're playing against a team that's got a low block, do you need two defensive midfielders in there. Last week, you're playing against a team like Liverpool. You know that they're going to come at you. They're going to attack you in that midfield area. You need to dominate the ball in the midfield. West Ham, I've never seen a West Ham team under David Moyes. They don't attack. They just, like you said, low block. So do you need Jorginho in that game, or are you better off bringing in a Smith Rowe or somebody like that that's more attack-minded, so that, you know, we get more shots on goal and we're just attacking them more? I'm going to be very interested to see what the starting 11 is. But I get the feeling Jorginho won't play in this. I think he'll go with a bit more attack-minded midfield.
A follow-up. I went for the two double pivot simple because West Ham are playing at home. They lost their last game against United. So definitely they won't play that low block against Arsenal.
They will.
No, they won't open up.
David Moyes, anytime he plays against any of the big sides, that's how he plays. Yeah, the reason why he's, as a matter of fact, that's how he plays the majority of the time. Is one of the reasons why their fans don't really like his style of play. But the fans will take it against Arsenal because they'll be like, all right, we know Arsenal's a better team than us, low block. What really angers a lot of West Ham fans is when they're playing teams they're supposed to beat now, why are we still playing a low block? So I think he will play that way. One of we get an early goal against them, draw them out a bit, and then we, a bit like what Man United do, and then you have a lot of joy. But I can't see them coming attacking. I think if they do that, I'd love to see that because I think we would then destroy them. But it's going to be a defensive low block.
Yeah. Liverpool couldn't do it. They couldn't come and play against us in that way.
Liverpool don't play that style.
If they opened up, when they opened up, we killed them.
Liverpool's a team never play a low block.
Yeah, exactly. But
they're an attacking side.
If West Ham tried that, if they tried to open up,
I think they'll get massacred if they try and do that.
Okay, so on a lighter note, I think that the team should visit Dubai more because I think when they return from Dubai, they are doing very, very well.
Yeah.
Now, on this note, before we end the session, we'd like to give opportunity to all of us if you have predictions for the game.
Okay, so in my illusion, I'll say 10-0. But
wow.
Realistically, I'll say 4-2 for the Arsenal.
4-2. All right.
Okay, nice.
2-1.
4.
Arsenal win.
I like that you have to check. That's funny.
Okay, Arsenal is winning by 3-1.
I also go for 3-1 Arsenal win.
Nice.
I thought you said House of 3-1.
I will go for 2-0 Arsenal.
2-0.
Arsenal 2-1.
Did you make the tops? Was it you that made the t-shirts or not?
Yeah.
Big up, man. Very nice.
I will go for 4-2.
4-0 for Arsenal.
4-0, I'll take that.
Take a 3-1.
3-1?
Yeah.
Well, for some reason, I went for 4-2. So when I heard the ladies say 4-2, I felt it.
Okay. 4-2, nice. Confident.
Yeah, 3-0 for Arsenal.
I think it's important we keep some clean sheets in some of these games. It's very, very important. And so I'm predicting 2-0.
Same 2-0. Yeah, I'll say a resounding 2-0 for us.
Doctor, chill out.
I'll probably say 2-1.
To Arsenal, yeah?
Okay. The last match, I think the last match West Ham won was against Arsenal. And for almost like 6 matches, they've not won in any of their matches. So I think this match is very tough. So I think 1-0. 1-0 for Arsenal.
Okay. I'll go for 3-0 to Arsenal.
3-0 to Arsenal.
I also go for 3-0 for Arsenal. And a goal for Trossard.
Okay, Trossard.
I believe it's just going to be a goal to nil to the Arsenal.
1-0 to the Arsenal, nice.
5-0. Declan Rice hat trick. I need you to disgrace that team for me.
That'll be the dream.
2-0 for Arsenal.
2-0 to Arsenal, Eric?
5-0.
Wow.
On the back of the Liverpool win.
Yeah?
5-0.
Momentum.
5-0.
I like that.
Half of yours, 5-0.
I'll go for 3-0.
3-0.
We need to keep a clean sheet.
Yep.
Yeah, so 3-0.
Yes, we need to keep a clean sheet. 3-0.
Wait. I also just want to say big up to Arsenal fans from Ghana and your sports club, because I know you guys do a lot of charity work as well, and you help in schools and all that. So big up what you guys are doing. I think that needs to be highlighted as well. So big up, big up. Love that.
Okay, so before we end the session, I would like to ask those on the high table if they have any final words before we leave.
You know, this is actually the first time I've been in the same room with all of you. I know a lot of you individually, and it's taken for Robbie and Cecil to come to Ghana before this can happen. So this is awesome, and I actually want to thank Robbie, Cecil, the team, the boys, for come to meet the group. Every morning, first thing I do is switch on my YouTube and watch what they have to say. And I'm sure all of you are like that as well. I mentioned to Robbie the other day, this transfer window has been so quiet. How does he come on every morning and talk about no transfers? And that shows the talent that he has. And Cecil, all my nephews, all my nieces are all fans. I think one of them has a poster of you in his wall. So no, it's been great, meeting you guys and meeting all of you at the same time.
Well, listen, thank you very much. It's been an absolute honour to be here in front of your group. Well done for supporting Arsenal. Well done for the organisation that you have. Keep supporting. And, if you guys ever come over to London, make sure you come check AFTV. We're always there at every game. But also, more importantly, wishing you all the best in the future, good health. And, I just feel the love in the room, man. It's just really nice to be here. And like I said, for me, I've had a wonderful time so far in Ghana. You guys got an outstanding country here. Progressive country, a country that's full of a lot of culture, a lot of history. That as a black person coming here, I feel really proud, of this place, And, I hope that one day the actual football club can come here and play a game, Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to echo what Robbie said, and I thank you as well to Eric as well. I didn't know it was the first time you had them all together in one room. I feel honoured to be here for that as well. It feels a bit weird being on the top table because we're all Arsenal fans. There's no difference.
Like I'm a wedding.
Yeah, it feels a bit weird being here, but big up for, like I mentioned before as well, the charity work you guys do as an Arsenal supporters club as well. That's massive. It's more than just football, I think, at times as well. We're a family, and that's how it feels. And I feel the energy in the room, and I can't wait for Sunday. And hopefully we'll see us all celebrating an Arsenal win. Yeah.